Hi, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to the Facebook Live for the event industry. We took a little break, a little summer siesta, if you will, in between all the crazy. Event planners don't really get summers, so that's why that's so funny. But yeah, we decided to regroup and do our Facebook Lives on another day. So if this is your first time tuning in, I am Jen Singer. I am the founder of the Event Industry, a online community for my fellow event planners, my planners that are doing a lot of corporate events. How are you doing out there? What is going on in your world? Things a little slow this week with the holiday coming, or are you trying to cram in a bunch of stuff before the holiday weekend? Hopefully it's the more chill if you've got some time. Anywho, so today we are going to be talking about creating events in unique event spaces. And what is kind of special about this particular topic is it really inspired me to actually start sharing a lot of content with the outside community. A few years back, I was asked to lead a discussion for some students at San Diego State and talk about this very topic. I was event manager for an outdoor venue that we hosted a lot of craft beer festivals. It was an outdoor facility, but it definitely had some challenges with it. And I think when you say unique, a lot of that time means some elements of challenge. And there are some things that I'm going to kind of go over with you today to kind of things that you want to think about when you're planning these types of events. But anywho, a few years ago, I spoke on this pretty extensively. I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version today, because I know we all have a lot going on, and basically just run through, what are some of the elements that pop up when you're hosting an event in a space that's not like, it's built to have events, but it doesn't have a lot of infrastructure. There's not a lot of support to it. And what can you do when faced with some of those things and, things that you need to think about and when you're planning the budget, you're planning the logistics stuff. So there are some elements of what I like to call basic necessities. And that is power. And if you don't know anything about power, I would involve an AV company from the very get-go to kind of assess all the things you have going on and what those power needs might be. So you want to think about power. What kind of power are you going? Is it a nighttime event where you're going to need power? And how many people are going to need to draw power? So all those things need to be considered. A lot of times these unique event spaces do not have trash facilities. So you might have to rent dumpsters. If it's a multi-day event, you might need to coordinate them dumping the dumpsters. That could be a whole nother thing. So you want to have a trash plan, usually with these outdoor unique spaces. Lighting can be another element. So again, if it's just a daytime event, then lighting is not something you need to worry about. But if you have, part of the evening event, if it's definitely going into when it's going to be dark, you definitely want to think about lighting, and then that circles back to the first thing, power. A lot of outdoor spaces don't have great access to water. Or there is, but you need to kind of preempt that and have a plan for what water stations do you need? Do you need water stations? And who's going to need access to water? And what is your water plan? Then there's the element of restrooms. There is the portable restroom. There are nicer portable restrooms, or maybe that there are facilities close by that are public, that are already built in, like say you're at a park and there are already public restrooms there. Figuring out a way to utilize those spaces, whether you need to have additional restrooms available or you need to have those serviced during your event, because sometimes that could be a thing where it's plenty of facilities available, but there will be some service that will need to happen during the scope of your event. So putting that into your plan. So that kind of covers some of the basic necessity. We've got to think about power, trash, water, lighting, and restrooms. Just those basic necessities to keep everybody comfortable. Now you want to think about regulations. And what I mean by that is who manages the space. Sometimes spaces are managed by the city. Sometimes they're managed by the county. Sometimes they are privately managed, but you still need to do some permitting. So a good example of this is a lot of groups here in San Diego that like, I want to host like a bonfire event, and that would be so fun to like have this corporate event where we all go down and have drinks and s'mores and we're on the beach and all that stuff. The challenge with that is that most of the beaches are publicly managed, and so they're through the city, and you have to do permitting through the city. They've outlawed drinking years and years ago, so you can't drink at most of the city beaches. And this is where fun permitting and regulations gets uber complicated, and it varies by city. So every city is different, whether you're in California or you're in Kansas. It's all going to be very different depending on which city you live in. So there are elements of the port, which is also along the water, but they have different regulations than the city. Fun, huh? And then there are also beaches that are managed by different hotel groups. So Hotel del Coronado, which is like an iconic hotel here in San Diego, they manage their own private beach. And you can run events through them and have drinking on the beach. So you need to find out, and that long-winded explanation on who regulates the area, basically just want to give you a snapshot, is that it's not always clear, and depending on who regulates it, it also depends on what sort of red tape, what kind of permitting you'll need to do, what is actually what is allowed. If they're, like use the alcohol example. If alcohol is allowed, what are the regulations on that? Do you need to pull an ABC permit, an alcohol beverage control permit, and who needs to sign off on that, and all those little things. And I would just kind of point out that a lot of those things take a couple months to process. So it's definitely not something that you want to put off to the back burner, start planning the event and not think about any of the permit, whether it's ABC or fire or health, or you have to do a special events permit. All of those things usually take months to kind of coordinate and make sure that you're communicating all the details to these city officials or to the entity managing it. So we cover basic necessities, but the power, trash, water, all the things, permitting, who regulates it, and what sort of things do you need to get approved or processed in order to have a sound kind of approved, everything great kind of event. And then the last element is, no, that was it. It was I covered it all. Basically just making sure that you are covering all your regulation basis, whether it is the rules by the city or the county or privately ran. You just want to make sure that you're asking all those questions in advance, and you're filling out those forms and submitting them with more than enough time to complete it. So I hope that helps you in creating events in unique spaces, i.e. out on a beach or a park area where there's just a lot of different variables that can come into place, and it can create an awesome event. You just need to ensure that you plan ahead. So thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you need more resources or cool things to consider for your next event, visit theeventindustry.com. That's THE, eventindustry.com. If you have any questions, I'd love to use any questions that you have for another Facebook Live. You can email me at that's my other business. hello@theeventindustry.com. That's hello@theeventindustry.com. I also have my own event production company. I like to use a lot of examples, things I'm working on or challenges I face to help you guys, because I'm always learning new stuff, even after 16 years. But if you want to check out any of the events that I'm working on right now, you can visit jensingerevents.com. Have an awesome Wednesday and a fantastic Memorial Day weekend, and I'll see y'all next week. Thanks.